Hi guys, how are ya? Thank you for joining. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do in this video, or but I thought I would talk about, I don't know, what's going on in the shed. If you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask, hello guys, how are we? I love you too. Jack Cornell. But yeah, anyway, we are in the shed at the moment. Thank you, Oliver. With the L67 here. Oh, there it is. It is very cold. Yes, it is very cold. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. But look, I can do a tour if you want. But the shed is bloody messy at the moment. I'm trying to get a new toolbox or something so I can tidy it up. But show us the L67. I have no HSVs in the shed. Hello, Damien. Damien is my friend, and he's definitely jealous of the VS. I can't show you guys, it running. So I've made a few videos about why the VS isn't running so well. It isn't running at all. So I think it's missing some intake pipe, and that's causing the ECU to be unhappy. I swapped the whole motor. Riley, why don't you show us your own personal cars? You said you didn't show. Well, these are mostly mine. The Prem isn't mine. The blue VNs up there aren't mine, and that crashed VN isn't mine. And in my personal shed is the red VN, my white VS Ute. And some other stuff that's not ready for the channel yet, but it'll be there. I like E-Series Falcons. I reckon they're fantastic, particularly XR6 and XR8. They're really good. I really like those. Deacon just rode 50. I haven't done that personally, Douglas, but I used to be in there with all those blokes back in the day. Do I want to buy VPSS? Probably not at the moment, no. Thank you, Trix. That's that's very kind. I don't know what Nissan Exa. I'm not sure what that is. You have a VN and a VY and made content. I haven't. I'm sorry, mate. I haven't seen anything you've done, but keep going. If this is something that you want to do, anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. I don't know anything. Well, I know a little bit about cars, but as you can see, working on cars, I know fuck all. So, yeah, I don't know. Upload on Facebook, Instagram. You don't make any money. You can make money on Facebook, but don't do it for the money. Do it for the love of it, because otherwise you're going to get real sick of it. About the ZB. VZ Calais. Will I be keeping the Valiant? Yes. So the Valiant, because it's really in my family, I'm not sure if you guys have watched that video. It's my old man's car. He's had it from the late 80s. So that is definitely not going anywhere. No, you just never find another one. I wouldn't mind a Gemini. No, I don't, mate. A VZ Calais. There's been a few comments about that. Yeah, maybe we can get one. Oh, look, since you guys are watching live, we are picking up another car on Sunday, hopefully, in Queensland, and driving it back. That's a little secret, but I'm probably going to put that on the back burner. I know you guys will like that one. That's cool. L67 swap. Look, if you guys can, manual L67 is hard because it has a lot of. I don't know, it never came out like that. Will I ever talk about the auction? I will eventually, yeah, but it's still under stuff and... the bike has long been returned. I'm sure you guys know all that. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, but there's not really much more to say about it. Not much I can say. But it really was real. I don't know what else you want me to say. Get a Mitsubishi Magna. There have been a lot of comments about Magners, and considering, they're reasonably low price, I wouldn't mind them. No, I didn't, mate. No, I did not pick up Tiger Micah L67. Yes, you can, Jay Thorpe. Absolutely, mate. Which V8 cars do I own? At the moment, I've got 5. I'm not going to count the VT. Oh, sorry, I have counted the VT 5-litre, but that'll be going this weekend. I've got the VZ, SSZ, the VN 5-litre. We got the car that I've teased on the channel a little bit. I'll reveal that probably when I get back. And we've got 2 more. Yeah, 2 more, but that's also a secret. As the 3, bruh. When am I buying at Peterbrook's? Well, I can't afford that. One day I'll be able to afford a VT. Holden Rodeos are fantastic cars, mostly because it is one of the few products that we didn't make that Holden didn't make, that wasn't Commodore, Kingswood stuff, that wasn't garbage, mostly because it's all Isuzu stuff, which is really good. Would I ever get a VK? Absolutely. That is my VK over there, that red one. Bought it 18 months ago, and I've just pushed it from this shed to the next, from my old shed to this one, and that's about it. I do like 173s, yes. VE Series 2 SV6 manual. Very cool. I had VE SV6 it wasn't brand new. It was 2 years old. It was a pretty average car, but I got a bit of a lemon. Most of them are pretty good. I like VY Belinas, especially the front Adventurer off-road. They're actually really undervalued, I think. I was looking at one on Marketplace and I was so close to buying it. I think it was $5,500 or something. They're so cheap. They are really heavy on fuel though, so I don't know if I'd want a daily one, but as like a camping car or something like that, yes, you should get a VYS pack in Mountain Dew Green. Is the VX getting any love? The Bellina? No. I mean, it might be getting a bit of love. It's worth nothing, and it gets to stay in a nice warm shed, so maybe that's a little bit of love, although it's not warm actually. But my dream car, one car that I selfishly really would like to have on the channel, is a VL Turbo like Hector Habib's. That's a really a goal, and I think it's why are Commodores so cheap. Well, I don't think it's because they've all fallen. Everything from SSs. I mean, these are SSs now are bugger all money. They're sort of what they were when I was 18. Get an SS for 7 or 10 grand. I think because unfortunately a lot of people are really struggling. They're doing it real tough, and a lot of V8 cars like that are getting old and they're toys. And if a lot of people are doing it hard. What should I do? Oh. Thoughts on the Holden Jackaroo? Joe, it's funny you mentioned the Jackaroo. My old man worked at Holden when that was a brand new car, and he bought a brand new Jackaroo. And he was driving, took it off road, and he went through like a Ford and hydrolocked the motor when it was brand new. I should make a video about that actually, it's quite funny. But yeah, he destroyed it. Luckily it was covered by warranty for some fucking reason. So he got his money back, and he bought a VYS pack. Yeah. Yes, the VU is a V6. WL or WK Caprice. Very cool. I haven't owned one, but I have driven plenty. An EH, I have not owned an EH, mate, no. Fan of any VF Commodores? Yeah, probably my favourite, and I don't mind a VF GES or whatever, but I love just the standard 6-speed VF SS. That would be the go, I think. So I'm actually, since you're watching the live, I might give you a little secret. I'm planning on one of the cars, most likely the Red Ute. I'm going to try and swap that and swap until we get to a VF SS and do it all on Marketplace and stuff. So that's the plan. But just haven't been talking about it. I just don't want to just be I'm gonna. So VZ Maloo will be the best Maloo. I actually agree. I really like them, and I had a VY R8 Maloo with the spoiler. And I think I bought it for $7,000 in 2016. Silver, had 160,000 Ks, and it was awesome. I sold it for 9. It's stupid. Is VZ claim? Yeah, it's not too bad. Under 100,000, it'll be pretty good. Get a Holden Chimera. I actually bought one a couple of weeks ago. It's just not here. It's still just at my mate's shed. I have not heard of that Maloo. No, that's interesting. What should you know about VYS packs? Well, the one thing that I'd probably say about a VYS pack, and it's actually the same with a VX, is a lot of them, man, they used to be everywhere. When I was up and coming on my P plates, they were everywhere, but now they really have disappeared. I don't know why, scrapped, wrecked, whatever, but a lot of them are gone. They're just aged out. Yeah, 06 Astra. That's another car you'd never see anymore. Not necessarily that one, actually, but the one before that. The yellow. Need a Kingswood in the shed. Well, I don't have a Kingswood, but we do have. No, I'll give you guys a little walk around, but I'm not going to show off that other car. But you guys probably already know. Here's the VS L67. It's so dusty and dirty. What do we have here? Got to make sure we don't have a Kingswood, but we do have a Premier. So there's a I always forget HT Prem. It's a really good car. It just needs a lot of little things. The shed's quite dusty at the moment. It is a beautiful car. That's right. Should get a VH or a VL. I should. I guess the one thing as well is a lot of my generation, and I'm sure a lot of you guys following this, is, you know, things aren't going too badly, and I just really wanted to buy stuff, and just stuff with LS1s. LS1s has been my little focus lately. Sorry, I'm just collapsing the stand. I do love an LS1, and I haven't had one in a long time. So I'm very, very fortunate, and now that I'm able to, I've just gone a little bit crazy with LSs. What are your opinions? I don't mind the Omega and Evokes, but they're very taxi-like, you know. Well, Trix, you know, there's nothing. We all start somewhere, mate. You know, it wasn't that long ago that I had. Well, I have been pretty lucky, actually. I was going to say, but please leave the Monaro bonnet in the aftermarket. They're already gone. They're already gone, unfortunately. LS1s are awesome. That's right. Here's the. Just trying not to show you that other car in the shed. This is the VZ-SS. Now, interesting thing about this is when I bought this, the description was terrible. It just said VZ-SS Crewman, no reg, no roadworthy. So it actually has Mathless Tune, OTR. I think it's had a VCM performance or whatever OTR. It's got pacemakers and all that stuff. Goes alright. Motor's really good in this thing. But I think that might be the daily. But man. Group A. No, I won't. Nug BJ? No, I won't be. It is lax in media. It is great. But, you know, there's negatives to anything. Sometimes it's quite stressful, and I know that seems unbelievable. But it can be stressful trying to make sure I get everything done. So do I, Fergus. Are we going to make any... You know what, because you guys are in the live, I'll show you a sneak peek of the car that we bought yesterday. So, As you can notice, I'm probably struggling with the bonnet struts. Oh, there we go. Here's another little sneak peek. I won't show you any more than that. I'm sure you guys, anyone that knows Commodores will know what that is. But, Oz Rebuilds. I think I'm heading up to VCM Performance tomorrow, and I'm going to ask them about this because I might buy another one for this. So maybe I will sell. I don't know. I'll probably just give it a... Actually, I'll just give it to you, mate, if you want it. What do you think of that thing, Chili? Show us the Falcon. It's just outside, and it is windy and dark outside, so we're not going to... I do like a 9-seat police car. I do like a HK as well. I love the cars. I will Tyson. I haven't done it recently on the VS because it needs because I just wanted to get it done, and I've made great progress on it. It really is just figuring out what is going on with the fuel, and then it'll be good to go. I've already got some genius. It sounds so stupid, but someone said, just unlock it, lock it back up again, and I tried that, and that got the pump to prime. But now I've got first. Anyway, once that's done, then I'll make a video on the first drive, starting it, running it, all that kind of stuff. Would I ever buy a VR wagon? Probably not now because the VS over there was pretty good. A cheap daily SS, definitely VE without question. They are so cheap. For an SS, you can get them for like 12 grand at the moment. The value of those has died in the arse. The VY, VX, they're almost the same price. So, yeah, I'd get a Statesman. Yeah, I would actually. Do I like HK? Absolutely. My VL wagon, so years ago, that's taken me back. I was maybe just turned 19. I went in the middle of Officer, I think it was, in the middle of rural Victoria, and there was a shed like this, and I just rolled up the door and there was a VL wagon covered in shit, bird shit, and I drove it back to Geelong. It was like a 3-hour drive. I won't make this story too long, but I drove it like 3 hours, and I bought a battery with me because I knew it needed a battery. I didn't know that the alternator was cooked. So I ran out, bought a battery at a servo just near the Westgate Bridge, that one that used to have KFC on it. Bought a battery from the servo. That lasted until Little River. I had to buy another battery to get home. Stupid waste of money. 33 litres per 100k in a stock SS. Something is wrong there, mate. Jesus, that's pretty bad. Yeah, I would have thought you should be around 13 at most. I do like Monaro GTSs, but because they're so expensive, I probably don't really think about them because they're so out of it. Are all the cars in here mine? No. So I'll just mention it again. Oh, that was close. Sorry about that. Oh, you already know what it is anyway. This one isn't mine. That one's not mine. And there's a Ute over here. This is a VG. That's not mine. But most importantly, that Prem. That one's not mine either. But I do have another shed, just at home. It's got 3 or 4 of my stuff in it. No, probably not. Thorpe, no. I think I have a wedding next week. New WB Deville stands. Yeah, that's awesome. Not many 351s. Unfortunately, Fergus, don't get too excited. It's not a VF Light My Fire. It's similar, but the value is significantly less than a VFSS or something. Does travelling so much affect a lot? Affect what? Sorry, mate. I'm not. Yes, I have seen that RTA one. That one is fantastic. I actually had a big meeting with the owner. That is. I haven't, mate. No. That sounds great. Will I ever get to 100 cars? I feel yes. I'm 28 at the moment. I reckon by 30, I'll be close to 50. That's the sort of the goal. I'm about 45% of the way there. So, how many Ks on the new car? It's a lot. 300 or something. I wouldn't mind doing a podcast because I'm sure that a lot of you guys have watched any of my videos know that, man, can I talk shit? And that's not great really for videos when you're working on stuff, but talking about cars. It did Sunny Baker, it went hard as. Well, we've only saved one, and actually, let me know what you guys think, because this is sort of my plan. This red ute, I'm going to continue tidying up, get it roadworthy, get it registered, and I think I'm just pitching ideas here. I think I'm going to sell it. I'm not going to raffle it because I just did one and it's just not right. So I think I'll auction it starting at $1, and then just whatever it goes to. So I think that I'll do that, and then whatever money that goes, then we'll go buy and save another one and continue on. Because we have really saved that. I'll spend a few grand fixing it, getting it as a good car for somebody, and it is cool. It's manual and it's got hard lid and stuff. So, what am I doing with the Valiant? Very little at the moment. Walk over there. This is a pretty cool thing. If you guys haven't seen this, it's already got like 700,000 views or something, which is fantastic. But this is the old Chrysler AP6 Valiant. It's an awesome example that has been parked since the 80s. And me and my mate Damien recently rescued this car. Have a look in here. Completely original interior. It's awesome. It's really, really good. It's original paint. It's fantastic. God, it stinks though. So with this, it's got a slant 6 in it. So we'll either fix that or replace it with another slant 6, and just all of the underbody, suspension, brakes, that kind of thing. And that's probably it. It certainly is tricks, yeah. It's a really good thing. And really, for a classic car, I mean, this was, to put in perspective how old this car is, when this came out, the Beatles were touring Australia. That's how long ago this car, how old it is. And all it needs is a motor. Doesn't need any paint and panel or interior work, which is awesome. The new hoist is fantastic, mate. I certainly have Nug. Certainly have. Yeah, look, Rusty, you're probably right, mate. But I feel like I'll keep this car a 6. I don't really care about the value of it. It's more that this car is so original that I really don't want to do that. I think it's got a different motor in it, like a different original motor, a different slant 6. But is the motor completely gone on the Valiant? I believe so. So the only story is that it has done a head. I don't know whether that means it's piston and valve have hit. I don't know whether it's just overheated. I've got no idea. But when me and my mate tried to crank it, like on the bolt or spin the fan, none of us could turn the motor over. Nozza, it's your choice. Out of those two, I'd go a VY Ute. I love a Ute. Utes are the best. They are so useful, and it's hard to go back if you ever, yeah. All right. Give us a Limmy. I will not be doing that. Does it have the push? Oh, okay. So a lot of people are asking, does it have the push button selector? No. So my understanding is that is the AP5. So you'll see there, it's got on the left-hand side, it's got the column. God, it stinks. Like it doesn't stink. It's like musk. Like it smells like your grandma's house. Common problems with Alloy Techs. Look, it's probably just what you already know. Timing chains, PCV, ventilation. Look, Thorpe, I've been through I've got that VN 5 litre, has a big cam motor, got flat top pistons and all that stuff in it. I've been through that whole process before. I think it cost me around $15,000, but that was like for the whole build, not just for the motor. But that was a long time ago. It's so much dearer now, and honestly, because it's so, it's a bit of a pain to drive, if I'm honest. Like, it's rough, it idles like crap. A lot of stuff doesn't work that would normally work in a car that hasn't been touched, but at the same time, it's very fun to drive and it sounds great. So, I'd probably go buckets. Sorry, bench seat. I don't have any merch currently, but I am working on it. But I'm just trying to get rid of some of that. Got the L67 going, not yet, but we're really not that far away. Really not. I think I need my intake pipe. We've got a few wrecks here that I have got here just to steal screws off or steal bolts off or whatever. Where am I getting the F40? I'm not sure what you mean, sorry mate. So yeah, I think we need the intake pipe for the L67 because I think the mass airflow sensor doesn't know what the hell's going on, and so it's got no injector pulse or nothing. But it does turn over, which is good because it's the first. Well, I put together one motor, but if you haven't been following along, I put this motor together with the exception of the bottom end. So I didn't do that, but I did everything else. It was just a short block, so I'm glad that it's worked. Need to find a new back wing for the Ute. Yeah, actually, if you guys see, I was able to find one. There it is. There's one. This one is from a Cosmo Purple VYSS. VYS pack. And this one has been sitting in storage for 20 years. So we did find one, but obviously it's the wrong colour, so we've got to paint it. I wouldn't mind another thing in Epping, but unfortunately full booster gone. So we'd have to find a different spot. Me either, Oz Rebuilds. How's the VK coming? Looks like a proper barn find. That's all that's happening. We have got, we do have a motor for it, but it's just not here. And we've got a injected 202 up there. You can see, maybe you can, this like all EFI fuel lines, EFI stuff for the VK. So we've got stuff for it, but it's just been sitting. This won't be a massive project, but it's going to be bigger than some of the others, so I just want to knock over some of the other stuff before we get to that. I would do a VRX. Yeah, the VK's not bad. It's got a ding in the boot lid, but other than that, the dust cover, no. Oh, some of them are, but I've got them all. So how much time do I spend on Marketplace? It'd be a couple hours a day for sure. The biggest thing with Marketplace is you just got to be the first to get in. And I missed out on a HZ, like awesome HZ POV pack. It was only 10 and it was up for 1 minute and I missed it. So you have to be sitting waiting. No, I don't think Marketplace is sus. There's definitely scams on there, but that's where you get the best deals because people to sell stuff on car sales costs a fortune. Thanks very much, Jack. That's very. What's the story on the VX Bellina? This one. Well, during COVID 2020, I was working at Autobarn, and one of the guys there, I reckon he was early 50s. He said, "Oh, Deacon, you like Commodores? My mum has one if you want it. It's just it's a bit of a nugget. And I didn't say that, but he said like, it's nothing special basically. And then I went and visited it. I was a chippy as well, and I used my chippy pass. I shouldn't have done this, but I used my chippy pass to travel in Victoria just to go see this car. So that was a bit illegal, but I did it, and we bought this VX. I paid $2,000 for it. It was from the original owner, so I am the second owner of this car. I put about 70,000 kilometres on it, and I've had only one issue, which was one of the brake lines burst. But it's such a good car. It's probably one of the best cars in here. It's just covered in dust. That's a car that I never really want to part with because this car is worth so little. It's not even worth getting rid of it, if you know what I mean. Like, what am I going to get? $1,500? But it's a really tidy car. Just doesn't look it. So it's almost eligible for Club Reg, and then when that's when it'll get. The cam in the red VN is a H304 crane cam. I did Anth, and I was tagged in it, but I was too late. Unfortunately, I think I was second or third. You're right, Zab. You're right, Blake. I do. That's the thing with Marketplace. Not only do you have to message them first, but usually if you can go there immediately, and you don't have to. Again, it's hard, right? Because to get those deals, you got to have a little bit of capital, because you don't want to go there and buy it, and then you got to fuck around with finance and all that. Like, you just want to go and pay in cash and get it done with, and that is the superpower that this job has allowed me to do. Is be like, not the money really, but just being free. Yes, heads port polished and new valves and those. I can't remember. It's been so long. It's got those extra valve springs and stuff. No, I wouldn't sell the VK. It owes me very little. What did we pay for? I think it owes me $7,000. So for that, I don't know if I'd be able to get another one, but there's no motor in it. It'll get there. Do I prefer VY or VZ? That's a good question. Probably VY. I think VY have better colours. Yes, rust is the hardest and most expensive. And if you have a look around here, none of the cars have any rust. And if the Valiant was extremely cheap, so if that car had rust, I probably would have passed, but it doesn't. So I prefer VS, I think. I really like the V8 all-wheel drives. I reckon I'd grab one of those. No, I haven't, mate. What is the best Holden manual use? I reckon if you're a P-plater, a 5-speed VY Ute. Thank you, Jugon. That's very kind, mate. Usually 5 litre, but I'm a little bit LS heavy now, so I'm thinking maybe that, the next car that we're buying is, which will be in 3 days, hopefully, is also something with 8 cylinders, and it's not a 5 litre, and it's manual too, which is pretty cool. So I think you guys will like that one. But then I think I'm going to calm down a bit because I've got to knock some of these out. And before I spend every dollar I have. So we'll do that. All right, how much have I spent on the L67? So I'm very lucky. The car itself was only $500 years ago. I spent maybe $2,500 getting a lot of little paint stuff done. $1,500 for the donor car, and then I reckon another $3,000 doing the motor, something like that. So I don't know, whatever that is. So it probably owes me like 6 or 7. V8 executives, yes, I have. I did a VT LS1, a VX LS1 6-speed executive. That was cool. There's lots of Cross 8 stuff on here. Maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea. No, not really, Zach. Look, I probably won't be buying HSVs. Oh, maybe. But the thing is, with HSVs, especially on the channel, they don't perform any better than any standard SSs and stuff. And I like normal SSs. Actually, if we even look at VF, I kind of prefer a nice SS than a HSV and stuff. Not that there's anything, just personal preference. Oh, look, I don't mind the VNs, the SV stuff. I'm probably just going to have a break from VN to VS because I've got so many of them. And have some of the newer stuff, and then maybe we'll go back to VL. Any more Scotty? Nah, probably not. Not at the moment. He's just having a nap at the moment. Live in my one of my hoodies or something. Any SS model. I'd probably get a VF. A VF would be cool. Not really anywhere else, Hunter. The days are gone of just getting them at the wreckers. Those days are long gone. I remember years ago when I had my first white VN, that I remember distinctly walking in Premwood Holden wreckers in Geelong, and there being L67 shit everywhere. I bought a whole entire interior VN Calais, like seats, door cards, absolute mint stuff for $200. Bought a set of Venetians, brand new, genuine Holden, for $250. All that stuff is long gone. I think I might have had I had a Kingswood. I had a Kingswood, not a Belmont. Yeah, I wouldn't mind one of those. But yeah, look, I think I need to get something older, but look, it's hard. It's hard, right? Because buying cars for the channel, I know that I've bought a lot of stuff recently, but all of them are really, except for this, they're not big projects. I know there's a lot of, the VK is probably a decent one, but everything else really can be knocked over in a week at most. Even that's probably pushing it, aside from running around getting it registered. But all of the mechanical stuff is easy, and even I can do that. What was my final verdict on the CR500? Well, obviously looking back on it, I shouldn't have done it. And I didn't make any money out of it. The people that made videos about me made way more money than I did. So I didn't even gain from it at all. And I really tried, and look, it's a whole thing. The bike really was, well, at least I thought it was at the time, pinched, and yeah. There's a lot more to that story. It's it's actually unbelievable. It's almost like a television series. The amount of stuff that happened, even weeks and month after I was there, was unbelievable. But yeah. Yeah, look, I might sell the FG. I don't know. Trying to get... You'll notice one thing I do is, like, I don't like... I kind of waste money, but a lot of my stuff that's registered, I kind of wait until club plate age because I hate giving the fucking Victorian government I hate giving them money. What made you choose to build a red VN? It was just cheap back in the day. It cost nothing. That the car paint and panel as it is was $2,000. If I sold the FG, I'd probably want like Oh, look, I haven't looked at the market since I bought it. I'd probably want 10, 11, 12, whatever. Whatever's reasonable, something like that. It's not a car that I'd raffle off. It would just be sold privately. Mr. VNSS. I understand being curious. I would be too, but he's a character, that's for sure. When will I do a V8 supercar build? Probably never, mate. Sorry. Do I like XYGTs? Absolutely. I did do a video on one, but he didn't want me to drive it, which is completely fine. But it was cool. What are the plans with the FG? Nothing, man. It is a bone stocker. The FG is a great daily. Don't do anything to it. Service it, maintain it, and that's about it. Plans for the Valiant, fix the motor. Actually, we can sort of have a look at it together. I honestly haven't had a decent look, although I have got some. These are all for the Ute. These are all new old stock Holden. I haven't actually done a video on this, but Humpy Bong. Yeah, honestly, Seth, actually, I will say this about Mr. VNSS. Seth, if you go watch that video when he's doing that skid, now that has to be one of the worst skids I've ever seen. If you have a look, he's going lock to lock and he's not even anywhere. Got some new genuine Holden bits. So these are the black bits that go on the roof there. It's pretty cool. And we got some new old stock door rubbers, like they go on the Ute just there. Oh, this is the best one. Look at that. That is a new old stock VS Acclaim badge. Beyond rare, that thing is. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing racing again. I really enjoyed that until I popped the motor. What's Humpy Bong? I'll have a look at it after the... Yeah, exactly, Seth. Embarrassing. And if you notice, Seth, if you go back and watch that video, he did another video of him doing a burnout where he's turned the speed up like twice. Because everyone was saying in the comments that he was spinning the wheels so slowly. Melbourne Muscle Cars, look, it's up to you, mate. Honestly, I don't have massive power in a 5-litre, but my motor sounds like it's tough as. Sounds like it's making 300 kilowatts, but it's making 170. It's making nothing. I think that I couldn't care less about it, but it's up to the individual. It depends how much money you have. I like VU Maloos, but you don't see many of them. Ecotech swapped Lolux. Look, I don't mind the Ecotechs, but swapping out the old Toyota motors. My cousin's got a Toyota 80 Series Land Cruiser with a VNSS motor in it. And I remember when he bought it, I was thinking, oh, this is such a sensible purchase. He didn't even tell me what was under the bonnet. I would, Jacob, I would definitely get an AU. So what are the plans with the Lada? So I have no idea. I haven't even really talked about it. I haven't even done videos on it yet. I will, but really this needs to go. If you guys don't know, I bought a Lada Samara a few months ago. It is easily the worst car that I've ever bought. I don't even know why I fucking bought it. It needs a full restoration, and the car's, unfortunately, it's worthless. So I'll probably show it off. I don't want to wreck a car for no reason, but it needs interior paint and panel. It needs a lot of stuff. So I don't know what it is, but if you guys don't know what a Lada Samara is, well, you might consider yourselves lucky, but it is a Russian car with Alfa Romeo running gear, And the reason I bought it is because it is a Peter Brock edition. It is pretty interesting. So I'm going to show it off, but you know, again, I'm not doing it for the money. But would you spend $100,000 restoring a car that's probably worth $3,000 if it's spotless? I don't think so. So yeah, I don't know. Thought about writing manuals on. Barbarossa, you give me Lockie Bryan flashbacks there, mate. Don't want to read that. Show us the L67 wagon. I did just show it off, but here she is. She's very dirty and dusty, but it is a cool thing. I got those headlight protectors by being at the servo one day and offering some old boy, I'll pay for his fuel if he gives me his headlight protectors. That was a long time ago. And I bought these swirly hubcaps off eBay for $100 for the set in probably 2015. I didn't even have a car that would fit. Yeah, I do. I do like X Series. Russian dash cam. Yeah, interesting. I wouldn't mind an AUX R8, honestly. Well, Alice, if it's got 170,000 Ks, mate, it probably doesn't need a resto for, full service history. Probably just needs a weekend of love. The AU interior, the interesting thing about the AUs is they have aged well, but also people sort of compare the AU to the VRVS, but the AU was the competitor to the VT. And the VT, I like AUs. I'm not dissing on them. They're good cars, obviously, and the running gear is fantastic. But when they were brand new, man, the VT is a much nicer car, I think. It's nicer to look at. FPZ. I haven't driven an F6. I don't have any kids, mate, that I know about. But yeah, no, I don't mind an AU, but they're just so... Hello, mate, how are you? Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, this is far from the... no, I've never had a Fairlane, no. Yeah, AUs are fantastic. My daily at the moment is an FG G6. FG G6. Thank you, mate. That's really kind. Yeah, I drive an FG G6. It's boring. It's reliable. It's not really fast, but it flies under the radar, and I really like that. It's another thing about social media, and it comes with the job. But anytime I drive any of these, people take photos and send it to me or film videos, and that's great, and I love that. But sometimes I also like to drive the FG, and it just flies under the radar, just regular traffic. But yeah, I might go to the Crewman. I think that would be the same. Best car I've owned. I really I shouldn't have sold it. I had that's a shit answer. The Toyota Hiace was a great car. I really liked that van. It did blow a diff, which is pretty shitty. But other than that, that was a really good car. It was comfortable, and I probably should have kept it. It is an SS Crewman. Yep, back there. Maybe. I did do a R32 GTS-T in my early days. That was a really cool thing. I like Hondas, especially the early 2000s ones. Not really a big fan of the newer stuff, but any of the older stuff. No, that's right. Your VL. Yeah, probably the VL. Any plans to get a classic small car? Well, I don't know if you call it a classic, but I did buy that Chimera. It's just not here. And I've got the other Lada thing. But the Chimera is actually in really good nick. It needs very little work. But the Lada is fucked. Jesus. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that. Fucking hell. Like an old man here. I don't know what I just did. 5 litre in a... I need to fix that. That's still my head in. 5 litre in a... There we go. 5 litre in a VG. Awesome car. I don't think so. I don't think I've got any... It was a bit of a boomer moment. Look, Chrysler 300. They don't really do anything for me, but maybe I'll try. Alright, that's enough of that. Alright, what else do we have? Thoughts on the Ecotec, fantastic engine. No plans for Gemini. Look, if one come up or not, Jesus. If one come up cheap enough, maybe. But it'd have to be fuck all, honestly. I don't have a big desire to have a Gemini. There's nothing wrong with them, but just not for me. Yes, why not, Charlie? What's the worst breakdown I've had? Actually, that's a really good question. So years ago, I bought an AU, $400 with 6 months rego, but it had a slipping auto, and it was a dedicated gas one. And I was with all my mates, and we wanted to see how far it would get before the auto let go. And we drove it, we were in Geelong, and we drove it to Melbourne, and we got to the Little River bypass, and I lost second and third. And so I drove back from Little River to Geelong in first gear, and by the time I got home, it was completely stuffed, and the only way to get it to move at all was to limiter bash it from neutral and smash it into gear, which is awful for the gearbox, but it was already stuffed. We did that, and literally when we parked it, it had no gears. So luckily I got it home. Honestly, Jordan, I am not the biggest fan of those plates. I'm sure you're the same. I don't mind if they're like ex-cop or something like that, but not a massive fan of them. Maybe if it's like I've seen like on a Senator, I've seen like Senni or something like that. Like I don't mind that, but I haven't. No, mate, I haven't. Stop. Most unreliable Commodore. I mean, they all kind of share the same running gear. But I don't know. VE, VZ? They're not too bad though. Any hobbies outside of cars? Yes, I love music. Playing piano and playing guitar, and I also really like computer stuff. Building computers, and I used to love building computers. No, I didn't watch the grand final. Honestly, like I get it, people love it, cool, but it doesn't do anything for me. Look, I don't mind Gilmer drives, but it depends. You know, I've got one on the red VN, but it's not that tight. I've never had any problems with it. Yeah, it goes pretty well. Keep the old Buick reliable. Oh, nothing too much, mate. I mean, other than servicing it and don't, you know, abuse the hell out of it, they're pretty good. I like 31s. Do I like drugs? No, I've never done anything in my life, and unfortunately, I've seen what they do. You know, when you go and, you know, I'm getting old now. I'm 28, and you see what, you know, it's all well and good when everyone's doing it when they're young, but as you get older, you go this way and then they go that way, and I don't want to be over there. So. Thank you, Matt. That's really kind, mate. Not really. I don't go down the Great Ocean Road that much. Do I miss the Calais? Not right now because I actually still have it. We're leaving tomorrow, so I'll deliver it tomorrow. Or Saturday. Do I collect model cars? No, I don't, mate. Thank you, Rylan. Yeah, that's right. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Everyone's got their weakness, including me, and I'm sure including you. Everyone's got something, but they have. I don't even drink. I never drink alcohol. Well, not never, but it's extremely rare for me to drink. Because I have this personality, and you guys might even see it, that I just, like, I like cars, and I just give everything to it. Where if I did that with piss, I'd be just ruined. Thank you, Charlie. That's really kind, mate. Can I do a backflip? Definitely not. I do like the VXK International. What springs are in the VT? I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'm going to have to raise it though, which is a bugger. So true. Not particularly at the moment, and honestly, I'm kind of not sick of the reviews because I love doing them, but I just want to do this for a bit. To user, you don't, mate. I don't. This is my job. I did have cars before this, and I was a carpenter, so I was up at 6 a.m, and then get home at 4, and I was wrecked. But I just did social media until I went to bed every night. Goodbye, Charlie. Not a big fan of the Pontiac fronts, if I'm honest. Would I buy a VESS? Maybe. They're worth nothing at the moment. Nah, not really, Seth. It was a little bit, but I wasn't a framer or whatever. So I was just maintenance. But I really liked maintenance. It's pretty rare that my back was sore. Every now and then, yeah, but not really. Favourite model, Tirana. LJ, probably. Greg Norman. Yeah, I do like him. Oh, what do I think the best era for cars was? Probably like VX to VY, I think. VX to VY because they're still very daily drivable now, and they're reliable. Both the V6 and the V8, they cost bugger all to maintain. They're good looking, they're safe. Yeah, that's probably... I think that was the best era for cars, not just Commodores, but BA, BF Falcons as well. And Silly Statesman, no, I've never heard of that. Yeah, if you can get new old stock stuff, definitely get it. Rarest model rim. It's probably that one. Oh, it was some HSV that when I was at Andy's joint the other day, he had a HSV Monaro or something. He had such rare wheels. I can't remember what it is though. I'm getting a bit tired. 3 cars. 3 cars only. Fuck. Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. That's exactly right, William. And it wasn't just Holden. You know, Ford had that RTV thing, the wagon, sedan. You could get a steel tray, a tonner, like. And you can get a BA Ute now for nothing, and it's reliable. Yeah, they do have issues, but what wheels would look good on an SS Crim? I actually don't think there's that many because they always sit like this. It's kind of hard to get them. Well, you can't really lower them because they're leaf sprung. Well, you can a little bit, but not enough that it looks good. So I'm probably just going to keep the VZSS wheels on it. I have reviewed one of the Brock EA Falcons, and that was awesome. I totally get it, Seth, and honestly, I could sell all my cars. I could put in another 50 or 60 of my own money, and I could have a properly nice, it's probably something Italian car, and people think I'm rich as fuck, but really, that isn't going to happen. That's not what I'm doing. I've just got a bunch of shit VTs and all that. No, I don't have any Coupe 4s coming. I did see one the other day for the first time, and it only had like 2,000 Ks on it. It was awesome, but I wasn't allowed to film it, which is fair enough, but 32-inch rims. I know what you're talking about, but let's see them. I'm not a fan of the Trackhawks. Look, in theory, yeah, but apparently they're extremely unreliable. Look, I don't really know. I don't know enough about them, honestly. Yes, I have Fletch, and I think there was one made, and then it was crushed. If it's the one that I'm thinking of. Sex spec cars, not my thing, but they do have their place. I mean, a lot of people love them. Worst mod? Something with exhaust, I think. That's what I'm thinking of. Best Holden I've driven. I mean, lucky enough, I drove a W1, a VFW1, the most powerful production car that Australia ever made. That was really cool. I've driven VL Walkinshaw, a VK Brock. Probably the VK Brock was my favourite one. It was lucky you gave that back. And as well, when I did the VK, the Blue Meanie, he sort of surprised me when it was time to drive it. He said, just take it. So I was by myself, which was a real experience, but it was, yeah. Yeah, that's right, Seth. Yeah. So, what V8 Holden was my least favourite? I don't really have any, mate, if I'm honest. Factory option. Some of the sat-nav in like the VYVZ stuff is pretty average, and it's aged the car really bad. Holden vs Ford V8s. I don't mind them, honestly. Any chance of reviewing a VL Calais Turbo? I haven't done an LE, but I have done a normal Calais Turbo. That was sick. I've never owned an XR6 Turbo. No. Maybe one day. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to do with I don't know if you guys have ever watched like Hoovy's Garage or any of those kind of channels where they have like 100 cars. That is kind of the direction I think that I'm going, and that is what I want to do. But it's not easy, you know. Not only the capital to expand that much, but the warehouses, the registration, insurance, all of that other stuff. I mean, I'm already at thousands and thousands of dollars a week, and my collection is reasonably humble. So, what do I think of a VZSS? I love VZSSs. HQ Overlanders, man, they are so hard to find. So hard to find. What YouTubers do I watch? Maybe this is to my detriment. I don't usually watch a lot of car ones. I don't mind the odd Mighty Car Mods video. I really like those. But I kind of don't watch any car YouTube because I'm in it all the time. I watch lots of Linus Tech Tips. I know it's probably a surprise, but yeah, right. That's cool. It is bedtime soon, I think, mate. Yeah. It's been a big day. You know, it's one of those things. Social media is hard because it sometimes it might look like I'm just doing fuck all. I'm just sitting with my feet kicked up and all that, but there's so much stuff to do that goes on behind the scenes, editing and posting, and I love Top Gear. I went all the way to Canberra just to see James May talk just a month ago. Yeah, I would get a VF. What made me become a Holden man? I have no idea. My whole family is Ford. My grandpa worked at Ford. He had XYs and all that stuff. And yeah, I'd try a ZB. Why not? I love a HQSS. Really? That's funny. My first job was at Centacom also. That's really funny. I liked Centacom, and God, this is going back 13 years ago. I'd go in there and they'd let me build computers for free. I didn't get paid anything, and I didn't give a fuck because I got to see. Man, back then it was some seriously cool. I know this is. I'll be on this topic for 2 seconds, but if there's anyone out there that knows computer stuff, like I got to see GTX 690s and 3930Ks and build those computers and stuff. You know, computers that were $6,000-$7,000, and I couldn't afford that, so I love doing it. Yeah, I'd probably, mate. Yeah. Did you know? I did not know that, Cardboard Cruiser. I did not know that. Do I think electric cars are shit? Not really, but I think that the problem with them is they belong in a fleet. Like, they don't belong with a normal person because it's too impractical. I could justify an electric car because I have literally 20 internal combustion cars. My best mate has an electric car, but he has 60 fucking cars. So if you've got a lot of cars, I think it can justify it, but that doesn't solve the problem. I think, and I don't like that electric cars are sold on the you know, on the fact that they're good for the environment, because I don't believe that at all. I just can't see it. I don't like the fact that they're made to last 10 years. They're throwaway items where all the cars in this shed are like 30 years old and they all go completely fine. So I don't like the... Yeah, that's right. And I like physical knobs and stuff, and the other problem with electric cars is they have been sucked out of personality, with maybe the exception of the Tesla. That's slightly different, but they are nice in a way that a brand new car is nice. I mean, they're nice to drive, and I'm lucky enough that I've driven a few, and I don't hate that experience, but I would never see myself buying one. I don't like compare it to the FG, yeah, okay, the FG might emit more out the tailpipe than an electric car, but the resources made to make that electric car and then to recycle it and all that stuff versus the Falcon, which will probably last until the end of time, I think the Falcon must be better for the environment. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. Would I get a Magna? Maybe. Honestly, maybe. I haven't really thought about it. Do I like AP6 Valiant? I certainly do. I'm not sure if you know that there's one right here, but yes, I do. I do actually. I had a Mint VZ Ute. It was blue. And it was fantastic. 6-speed manual V6. Perfect P-play car. Did I do dumb shit in my cars? A little bit, but nothing crazy. I've done burnouts and stuff, but nothing enough to... I think I've blown 2 tyres ever in my life, and it was on a Falcon, believe it or not. I've got 2 VNs. Probably the 6-litre Crewman. Mine's 5.7, but I think he's just taking a break from YouTube. It does need a clean axle. This AP6 has been sitting since 1988, and we saved it a few weeks ago. No, I won't be doing a skid car. I know people like skids, and that's great. I couldn't give a toss about skids. It's just not my thing at all. And no, I probably wouldn't do any motorsport in them. Not in these ones anyway. What engine is going in the VK? Injected 202. That's right. So no V8s, but I've got enough V8s. I don't care. I'm happy with the humble 202. Oh, that's good, mate. And if you take care of cars, they usually take care of you, especially those VYVZs. That's awesome, Matt. Why VL Turbo Diff so much? I'm not sure, but you know what? Since you've mentioned it, I'll give you a little teaser. This is probably not for my cars though, but under this box, that is a VL Turbo Diff. I'm not sure what we're going to do with it. There she is. I'll just show you that because you mentioned it. Yeah, I probably will go to all Ford date. I'm pretty sure I've been to all of them. MX being engine. 2 wheels. Can we put a Heltec on it? I'm not sure. What's the best new car? There's a very small handful of cars that I'd even consider, and they're really different. I loved that 70 Series Land Cruiser that I had the other day, and I know they're expensive. I know they're $100,000, but it was fucking cool. I love that thing. And an MX-5, that's another car that comes to mind. I've driven a few of them. I've driven a brand spanker. Fantastic fun car. Other than that, though, I can't really think of any outside of a supercar that really interests me. No, I'm not really into bikes. I don't have my bike license. Look, I'm not really into engine swaps. I wouldn't do that, but a VN Calais with a Barra in it is quite interesting, and I can appreciate how much work it is to get that. Barras are fucking massive. If it's done well, I can appreciate it. I've had my red VN on the dyno, made 171 kilowatts at the wheels. There's been about 4 comments about a VZ Calais, so that maybe that has to go on the list. VK. But yeah, it's hard. I don't really know. Yeah, it is way past my bedtime. I normally try and get up at 6. It's one of those things. Yeah, I don't really have a job, but it's so easy to piss the day away, and I hate that. I hate wasting time. So, which is hard to believe because it's taken me a year to get the wagon sorted, but R34 with the turbo barrier. Well, look, V's are tempting because they're so cheap at the moment. Fireplace. You know what? Look at this. Need a fireplace. You guys ready? How's that for a fireplace? There you go. New videos. Thank you, Rylan. Yeah. Oh. How many I haven't picked up many, mate. That's for sure. Well, no, I'm definitely not sleeping here. Look at that. Look at that. Any collabs that I want to do with anyone? I'd like to do more, and we will do more, with Andy from Auto Trade Agents. I think we get along really well. We have a similar interest in business and cars. So go sleep in the wagon. Not sleeping here. HSV avalanches are really cool. I actually saw one yesterday. But I'll be honest, I haven't slept in this shed. I have slept in the old one, though, a lot. There were days where I was burning the midnight oil hard, man, like trying to make videos for the channel, work hard as fuck. I'd stay up all Saturday night, sleep there. So, any more collabs with Clay Wong? Probably not, just because of where he is. But what's interesting about Clay is I thought he was. I really liked Clay because he was a really different person than he seems like he would be. And yeah, that whole thing with the 310. I can't remember. I think it's 310. Detailing stuff, that was disappointing to hear. And not something I would have expected. But I don't know. It's hard, especially when... Well, that is true. That is true. But also, I don't really know what I'm doing either. Because I think one thing that people don't... And I'm not defending Clay. He should have paid those people 100%. So I'm not talking about that. But when you're talking about... And how he did pay him in the end. But... no, fag, man. No. I have seen a VLK wagon. I've never owned one, though. But one of the things that is hard about doing car stuff is if you're really into cars and really knowledgeable, like... How do I say it? It's one of those topics where everyone knows a lot, so it's very difficult to get everything right because there's, to get the volume to be noticed on social media on car stuff is very difficult, and you're going to get something wrong. I can't even remember, Seth. Probably the Gold Coast, I think. I do not have I've got a wrecked VP, but What's the best Statesman Caprice? VRVS, I reckon. I would collab with Ross Reviews, and unfortunately we're on other sides of the country. But I have talked to him about it, and he seemed pretty keen. And so I'd be keen as well. Best reasonably priced Commodore. It depends what you want for a project, mate. If you want a primed shell, or if you want something that's turnkey, I don't know. How many cars do I have? I don't know. 7, 18, maybe? I don't know. I'd have to sit down and... Yeah, look, JMO, I actually understand what you're saying. And early on in my journey, I talked a lot of stuff. I talked a lot about stuff other than cars. And I might do that every now and then on my story, but I don't like talking about political things because, I mean, he's welcome to, obviously. He can do whatever he wants. I'm not a big fan of political things. I think it'll split your audience. And really, it doesn't matter what way I lean, left or right or whatever. No one's following me for my fucking political opinion, so... yeah, that's right. Geelong. I'd have to be a VL, I think. Project VQAU. Would have to be a VL. VL Commodore up on a crane. It's actually not a bad idea. Maybe I'll message Adrian about that. Hard to believe, but the last time I messaged Adrian, he actually replied. I couldn't fucking believe it either. VN. All right, guys. Well, look, I'm getting pretty sleepy. I think it's almost time for bed. Getting nice and toasty in front of this fireplace, as you can see there. I think I'll have to call it, but thank you guys for following along, watching and talking with me. I've really enjoyed it. I'll probably start to do more of these. I think I might swap around channels and stuff, but it would have to be the W427. All right. Don't forget to oil up. No worries, guys. Thank you for joining and following along. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you guys very much.